Hi, my name is Ryan, and this is the hardest thing that I've ever had to talk about. Before I begin, I just want to say this. What I'm about to share may be distressing to some, but if you're going through something like this, you're not alone. I was prescribed a medication for anxiety, and within weeks, I lost my ability to sleep, to think, to be alone, or to even leave my house. I was told that it was simply anxiety. It wasn't. This is what actually happened to me. 5 weeks before everything changed, I was healthy. I hiked for hours every day. I was mentally sharp. I had a full life and was actually in the process of setting up a private practice as a therapist. And then I had a dental procedure. The next day, something felt off. I had chest tightness, trouble breathing, tingling in my limbs, and it scared me. So I went to the ER, and I was told that it was anxiety. I was prescribed Lorazepam, also known as Ativan, and I even asked for a lower dose because I am generally sensitive to medication, and the doctor obliged. And when I took it, the symptoms disappeared almost instantly. That moment felt like extreme relief. It was actually the beginning of something that I didn't understand. At first, I took it exactly as prescribed, but within weeks, my body started changing. A pounding heart, chest heaviness, shortness of breath. And at first, it only happened during hikes. Then while I was walking, then standing, and then just sitting. Eventually, I was diagnosed with Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia syndrome, or POTS, and even now I still experience symptoms, but they are improving. At the time, though, it felt like my nervous system was completely unraveling and no one around me could see it. I went back to the ER and they didn't question the medication. In fact, they increased it. Told me I needed to stabilize. And when things got worse, I was told to just stop, cold turkey. What happened after that is hard to put into words. My body went into full withdrawal, convulsions, tremors, zero sleep for days, severe panic, and eventually suicidal ideation. I developed monophobia, which is an intense fear of being alone. I couldn't even sleep alone. I couldn't be by myself without feeling like something catastrophic was going to happen. I also developed agoraphobia, and even leaving the house felt impossible. Couldn't watch anything remotely intense or scary, normally of which I'm a fan of, and even normal TV just felt so overwhelming. Like my nervous system couldn't process the stimulation. There was this constant, unrelenting terror. Like my body it's just stuck in fight or flight with no off switch. I wasn't withdrawing from something I abused. I was withdrawing from something I was prescribed. Instead of understanding what was happening, I was given more drugs, phenobarbital, in order to not seize. And then I was just told to stop that cold turkey. And then more prescriptions. No clear plan, no real understanding of withdrawal. And at one point, I just developed signs of liver injury. My labs were abnormal, and I was still being told that it was anxiety. After much research, I decided to go to a medical detox center to ensure that I didn't have a seizure or die. I thought that I'd finally be safe. I wasn't. I was switched to diazepam, also known as Valium, at what I now understand to be not an equivalent dose, much lower than the dose of Ativan that I was on. On top of that, I was given more medications, trazodone, hydroxyzine, and was not stabilizing. I was being layered with more drugs while my nervous system was already in crisis. I thought I lost my life as I knew it. I went from hiking 2 hours a day to being mostly bedbound. My body had felt like it was completely hijacked. Heart rate instability, neurological pain and burning sensations, gastrointestinal issues, muscle wasting, severe insomnia, cognitive impairment, emotional blunting, constant psychological and physiological terror. There were moments I didn't even recognize myself. Moments I couldn't think. Moments I felt completely disconnected from reality. But the most painful part wasn't just the symptoms. It was the isolation. I went to doctors for help, and I wasn't believed. I was told it was anxiety, that I was overreacting, that I just needed to trust the process. At one point, a cardiologist even documented a diagnosis of anxiolytic use disorder, which I did not qualify for, and I am currently in the process of getting removed from my medical record. All this because I had taken the medication exactly as prescribed. Even people close to me, including my own family, struggled to understand what was happening. I faced lots of dismissal and gaslighting. And when you're already in that state, that lack of understanding becomes deeply isolating. I documented everything, every dose, every symptom, every change, because at some point you start questioning your own reality. But the pattern was clear: rapid medication changes, withdrawal, worsening symptoms. I want to say this carefully, but honestly. This is not about attacking individuals, but something in the system is broken. Benzodiazepines are powerful. They should never be prescribed for more than occasional emergencies. And too often, patients are not given proper informed consent prior to being prescribed. They're not properly tapered. And when things go wrong, they're not properly supported. That has to change. It's been 2.5 years, and I want to say something important. I've healed a lot. Not completely, but significantly. My nervous system is calmed in ways I didn't think were possible. I still have POTS symptoms, but they're improving. I have moments where I feel like myself again. Clear, present, alive. And that gives me real hope. I'm sharing this because someone watching this is in the middle of it, terrified, confused, alone. And I need you to hear this. You're not crazy. Your symptoms are real, and healing is possible, even if it takes time. If you're a prescriber watching this, please listen to your patients. And if you're a patient, go slowly, ask questions, advocate for yourself if you're able to do so. And if you've been through this horrific experience, please speak up, because the silence around this is part of the problem. This happened to me, and I'm still here. I'm lucky to be alive, and I wouldn't wish this experience on my worst enemy. Thank you for listening.